to you. It's a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. And of course, we'll always start with our opening song just to lighten up your spirit. And it's about being close to you. So it's another week of we being close to you. And we'll be close to you from Monday to Friday. That's the only time we're allowed to be close to you. After then, we'll now move fast more. But it's a beautiful new week. Beautiful, exciting new week. I mean, I don't know, but it's a positive energy we just want you to have. My name is Cynthia Agbo. Welcome to Rapid Dawn. Today promises to be super excited. I'm highly optimistic, and I'm sure that that energy will not go down. I'm not alone, no. I have Ugo. Ugo, how was your night?
Hello, señorita.
Oh my
It's the
God.
feeling of a campionessa this morning. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, just flew in from Madrid this morning. The celebrations on the street are just quite exasperating. And, they said we couldn't do it. They said they were going to
Wow.
bring it back home.
Wow.
But,
Who are the they?
the, they said we couldn't do it.
Ah.
They said they were going to win it. But we've always shown that we wanted this right from the first day. And here we are, feeling like what again? A campioness. Or what you might love to call champion,
Oh, it feels wetty.
So good.
I'm not sure it's me you're doing all this one
I
for.
feel like a champion.
No, wait. I'm not sure.
Did I not tell
Wait.
you? Did I not tell you? I told her. I mean, I've been watching this game for far too long. When I know the people that are going to do well.
Okay, thank you. When
I know the people that are going to win.
Thank you.
Imagine that there was a bet.
Oh my God.
Imagine that you bet with your salary. Nothing for you at the end of the month. Nothing. Shishi. I would have been cruising with your money right now. Next time I'm going to follow my heart. Because I remember you asked me, should we bet?
Who?
I say no.
Wait, bet.
I say no.
I'm a child of God. I don't bet.
I'm not a betting man. But just look at how that investment
Can
opportunity.
We go to sports? Health.
That investment opportunity passed me
it's
by.
It's time for health. On health and wellness this morning, we're talking about how to burn calories, I think.
And exercise like a champion.
Let's have it.
Today's medical-centric topic is maximize your burn. 12 high-calorie burning exercises. To get the most out of your workout time, you might want to focus on exercises that burn the most calories. These activities can help you achieve and maintain a healthy weight, improve cardiovascular health, and increase overall fitness. Here's a list of 12 effective exercises known for their high-calorie burning potential. 1. Running. Calories burned. Approximately 800 to 1400 calories per hour, depending on speed and body weight. Description. Running, especially at a high intensity or uphill, is one of the most efficient ways to burn calories. 2. Jumping rope. Calories burned. Up to 1300 calories per hour. Description. A vigorous session of jumping rope can burn an impressive amount of calories and enhances coordination and cardiovascular endurance. 3. Taekwondo. Calories burned. Around 900 calories per hour. Description. Martial arts like Taekwondo are not only great for self-defense, but also for burning calories and improving agility and muscle tone. 4. Tabata training. Calories burned. 700 to 750 calories per hour. Description. This form of high-intensity interval training, HIIT, involves 20 seconds of ultra-intense exercise followed by 10 seconds of rest, repeated 8 times. 5. Cycling.
All right, welcome back. Guess we couldn't finish that, but you saw some of the things that you can do there to burn calories on your body. We'll just go on a very short break. The show continues.
My name is Ima Ehumadu, aka La Vista.
My name is DK, aka Mama Chinedu. Keep watching Rapid TV.
You are watching Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV.
Hey, Rapid TV, Carigo.
The biggest, the finest, the only Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Yes, keep watching.
Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial.
Keep watching Rapid TV.
This is me giving a rapid response to Rapid TV.
Rise and shine with Rapid Dawn, your essential morning companion only on Rapid TV.
Start your day with us. We bring you the latest news, engaging discussions, and a fresh perspective on issues that matter.
From weather updates to our wellness tip, interesting recipes, and our trendy conversations every Tuesday to the weirdest of talks on Wednesday, Rapid Dawn has got you covered. So grab a coffee and join us every weekday morning on Rapid Dawn. Let's greet the day together.
Rapid Dawn, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. only on Rapid TV. Join us and wake to the dawn of a new day. See you in the morning. All right, we're back right here on Rapid Dawn. Thank you for being there. I think we'll now move to some of the trending stories from over the weekend. Number one would be, of course, the terrible news that happened in Jos, Plateau State, where, unfortunately, a good number of lives were lost, and it was actually a very terrible situation. If we can have videos from what transpired over the weekend in Jos before we kickstart the conversation this morning. Scenes from Jos, Plateau State, where obviously lives were lost. And I mean, it's terrible because it's not just any building was a school where the students, most of the pupils there were writing their examinations. Had the terrible story of a family where, as it is now, there is even no surviving member of that household, because reports had it that 4 of the children were in the school at the time, and unfortunately, they didn't survive, and the parents could not bear the terrible news either. Their hearts couldn't hold it, and yes, we understand that rescue efforts have been on. Investigations have started, but then again, for how long are we going to continue to have stories like this? Actually, when this story started trending online, I didn't pay much attention to it because I felt it was related to a story I had read on the news regarding a building collapse in Anambra State. So I felt like, oh, that was the one that we're talking about, without realizing that this was even a fresh development. And guess what? Just, was it yesterday now or Saturday, there was also yet another one, this time in the Federal Capital Territory.
All right, the St. Academy Secondary School experienced tragedy in Plateau State, and it's been a sad one. And even yesterday, Saturday, in Abuja. And this building collapse will form a greater part of our conversation at about 9 this morning. We're going to be talking about this extensively because if you look at the numbers, there have been several building collapse, not just in Abuja, in Lagos, in Plateau recently. So sad that parents have to lose their kids. No parent wants to just send their child to school in the morning and the next thing you're hearing is that a part of the building. Now the most upsetting part of the conversation is that particular building is alleged to have been a bungalow that was converted to a 2-story. And it is so sad. How do you convert these things? Who was the architect? Who was the engineer? Who are those people that certified that this was okay to do? And just like the building collapse in Abuja on Saturday, one of the let's have the video of the one that collapsed in Abuja on Saturday. Let's have the video on the screen.
Everyone should come outside. So like this top floor is on top of the first floor. They had about 3 ladies stopped. They've extracted 2. They're trying to extract the 3rd person for a particular flat. This is at Kupi 22 Kubo.
So, according to one of the women who was in the Abuja building, she did say that in the morning she noticed something about the house that wasn't exactly stable, and then she left. Okay, she ran out of the house, and it was not long after she ran out of the house that the building collapsed. It's really crazy as to how people. Building management, they let's say regular checking of this building, the wiring, the piping, every single thing involved. We're going to have this conversation, and hopefully our guest is going to come by 9 to have this talk with us about building collapse, the regular nature of it, because we cannot keep having buildings collapsing, especially when there are people inside. If it were to be an uncompleted building or maybe an abandoned building, that's a different conversation, but not a building where people are living or children are going to school. It is not a good thing. I saw the foreign media that Friday had the conversation, and it didn't have a good look. Imagine hearing in international scene that children losing their lives in a building collapse in Nigeria. it wasn't a very good headline. It wasn't a very good thing.
Not in their tens or just a couple of numbers, in hundreds.
I don't want to even talk about how I felt when I saw the video. I mean, I saw the video of the kids where they took them, some of them to the hospital. They were already gone. I saw the video and I was like, nah, this is not what I want to look at this weekend. And I mean, unfortunately, we can't have that video on the screen at all. We can't. It's a Monday morning, so that's not the kind of thing you want to see. But just hearing about it alone is enough to break your heart, is enough to make you feel bad. But then again, aside from we feeling bad, if nothing is done about it, we'll keep having situations like this over and over again. So we're going to have the conversation about 9, and so you do not definitely want to miss that conversation at about 9 o'clock. Let's now move on to the international scene. A lot of things did happen this weekend, and on the international scene, it's one drama to the other. Of course, the race to the U.S. presidential race is on, and aside from the fact that we've been having drama from that area, talking about the many mistakes of President Joe Biden, but this time around, it's not one of the many mistakes of the president. It's about what is termed as an assassination attempt on the former president, who is the running mate, or rather the opponent of Joe Biden, the person of Donald Trump. So over the weekend, Donald Trump had his campaign rally at the Pennsylvania Avenue, and it was a sad one. It was a sad one. Now, there are several sides to this, but just in case you missed it over the weekend, let's start with, so when the shootout happened, several people sent in their good wishes. People like Barack Obama did send his good wish. Let's have the Obama statement regarding that. And he talks about the fact that there is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that the former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and used this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Somebody said if it were to be if reverse were to be the case, Trump would not have sent any good wish to Joe Biden. But we'll get to that. Let's now move on to the statement made by the former president himself, Donald Trump. All right, so and then we will probably touch a bit on Donald Trump's stand towards gun violence. So he said, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most important, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Some people have actually roasted him for that statement. Nothing is known at the time about the shooter, who is now dead. It was shot with, I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that. I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through my skin. Much bleeding took place. So I realized that, then what's happening. God bless America. Some people have criticized his statement, talking about not knowing what's going on. I mean, this is America, where we have several cases of gun violence, shooting. I mean, if you look at the number of gun violence in the United States, and then for him to put out a statement sounding like it's a new thing or it's not a regular occurrence, a lot of people roasted him for that.
Well, it's one thing for a story to talk about how somebody maybe walked into a school and opened fire. There are usually stories like that, but it's also a different thing when you have a former president who is out on a political campaign and gets and there's an attack on his life that close. Now there's been lots of reactions. Some people feel like, okay, this is the one move that delivers the election victory for Donald Trump. Some people feel like, okay, this was somewhat engineered. This was somewhat staged.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, really, because this is life, a human's life we're talking about now. Do you really plan something that puts your life in danger, knowing that, I mean, this is a gun we're talking about, and anything can literally happen, judging by the proximity of the shot, if he had missed by, let's say, a few millimeters, would have been talking about an entirely different kind of situation.
Okay, the thing is this, we are going to explore the different sides. We're going to share the video of what happened, but just to give you a perspective, this has not been the first time that, so I'm going to talk from both sides. We also have reactions of people online talking about how they felt like it was actually staged and all. But let me give you, a little breakdown of the few times that, we've had former in the past people who have been attempted assassination and assassinated. And so I like to say that Trump is not the first. We have Ronald Reagan was shot by John Hinckley in 1981 and was only lucky to survive. He went on to rule America for another 7 years. We also have John Kennedy was not so lucky. He was shot and killed during the visit to Dallas in 1963. The official account is that the assassin was Lee Oswald, although many believe in a very wider conspiracy. Now, we also have John Kennedy's brother, Robert Kennedy, was shot and killed in 1968 by Sirhan after Robert, won the nomination for the Democrat Party. We also have William McKinley was assassinated in 1901 by Leo, and we also have James Garfield in 1881 by Charles. So we also have Abraham Lincoln assassinated. The list go on and on. And so out of the 45 presidents America has had, 7 have been shot, including Trump. 4 have been killed. So it is not the first time. If you check the American history, it's not the first time. Some have survived, some didn't survive. Let's now move to those who feel that it's a thought out plan, or it's something engineered, for the camp of Donald Trump, because now again, let's dissect it this way. There is anyway, let's just look at the video where he raised his fist. I think we have that video. Yes, where Trump raised his fist when the shooting started, and he dropped to the ground, and then the Secret Service came and they surrounded him, and then he stood up, and then he raised his fist again. Now, ordinarily, one would think, oh, there is a shooter somewhere. Let's, in quote, at first it was assumed to be a sniper, right? And then you are raising your head up, and then you are giving a fist, and then you are saying, we will fight, we will fight. So one would logically think that you wouldn't even want to raise your head up. But let's have that video on the screen. Let's see how that happened.
Update as well that people are being escorted out. Jake Rosen spoke to an emergency room physician who saw a man shot in the head with brain matter on the ground. That's according to an ER physician performed CPR, but he did not. He's dealing with that at this moment. That's Jake Rosen, to be clear, Jake Rosen, a reporter on the ground in Butler, Pennsylvania, has spoken to an emergency room physician who saw a man shot in the head with brain matter on the ground. That's based on Jake Rosen's reporting. Jake looked at the camera after the incident, saw blood coming from Trump's ear in some way, his neck. Jake was on the scene. He was our reporter on the scene. Scott McFarland, who has been on the ground, doing excellent reporting as well. Update as well that people are being escorted out. Jake Rosen spoke to an emergency room physician who saw a man shot in the head with brain matter on the ground. That's according to an ER physician performed an ER.
All right, so that was it. But then we have witnesses, okay, that actually spoke. We have a video of about 2 witnesses who actually spoke. One did say that he drew the attention of the security operatives that there was someone climbing the roof. Anyway, let's get to hear it.
To him at all? Oh yeah. Did you see what happened to him at all? Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching. But you're pretty sure they shot the guy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it.
Honor, that's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got him up on a bench.
Shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person?
I was the only one that did it.
We need to evacuate everybody.
All right, that was some of the description. But now let's look at expert reaction to and some online reactions. I think we should start with the online reaction. So this one says, I mean, mind you, these are not Nigerians, these are not Africans, these are foreign media, okay? They are saying it was staged, folks, in order to distract us. The shooter was a registered Republican. Don't be fooled by this clown. He wants us to forget Project 2025. We'll give you a bit about what Project 2025 is all about. This one says, MAGAs are saying, that's like how they describe Trump's people, make America great again. So MAGAs are saying it was Biden who set it up, but Biden has immunity as it was an official act. Laugh out loud. This one says voting blue. This one says real or staged, Trump is not welcome back to the White House from both sides of the aisles. Let's now move on. Now this one says, according to Raw Story, law enforcement officials have claimed to two different sources that former President Donald Trump was not grazed by a bullet, but rather by glass shards. This one says it was a deep state operation similar to JFK killing, and then with the laughing emoji. I don't know why they have to laugh. This one says it's rigged. This one says, I wonder if it was because the shooter found out that Trump's Project 2025 will ban pornography. This one says it was staged. This one says fake stage. This one says every American should be asking how Secret Service and law enforcement allowed someone with a rifle on a rooftop, on a roof less than 150 yards away. If you look at most of the slides, you see it's divided, you know, on the international scene. Some are claiming it's staged. Some are saying, oh, this is going to boost the campaign and the winning opportunities for Donald Trump. But then again, unfortunately, we cannot vote. Okay, we can only.
He's literally bled for the nation now.
Let's now look at expert thoughts. You know, they had some analysis done. Let's now check out this next video. The expert thoughts regarding to what happened at the shooting over the weekend.
And it was striking that Kevin Rojic of the FBI said it was surprising to him that a gunman could do this, you know, under the watch of the Secret Service, is really how that question was framed.
And so often, these events for former President Trump are held in arenas, 10 to 15 to 20,000 seat arenas. That's his usual setting for these type of events. He does like an outdoor event. Most of his outdoor events often happen in places where his plane, his Boeing plane will park, and he'll have a rally at an airplane hangar. This was a smaller, rural event. As Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania told CBS News earlier tonight this was a place where farmers gather and show vegetables and farm animals in Butler, Pennsylvania, a very bucolic setting. This is a place that did, though, have elevated buildings outside, and it's raising enormous questions tonight among my sources on Capitol Hill and in the security community about how the Secret Service enabled some of these buildings so close to an event of a former president of the United States to not be part of the Secret Service perimeter. And you have discussions tonight already, as CBS News reported earlier today, about expanding the perimeter at the upcoming Republican National Convention in Milwaukee.
Okay, so many questions. Now, some people have argued that why would there not be enough security? I think there was a video where the man was talking about how I think we should have that video somewhere where he was talking about how he pointed, he told the security guys that there was a person going up the roof. And
there was an eyewitness who reported something like that.
Yes, and but he said the first time he said it, nobody went up there. And so these are the things, when you see some of these things, you now ask yourself, what is the true nature of what happened? But the good thing is this. It's a good and a bad thing, because I mean, one life was lost, or rather two lives, the shooter and the other man who was trying to save his family, trying to rescue his family. So the bullet got to him. So the shooter has been identified as Matthew Crooks, and he is a 20-year-old. Let's have a picture of the guy on the screen. He is a 20-year-old, and I mean, quite young, registered Republican, but then paid about $15 donation to Democrats project. So and then new stories are coming up to say that he was a lonely guy in school. And
he just graduated from high school in 2022.
And was bullied, you know, a whole lot of different things. And then the gun that was used was a legally owned gun by his father, registered to his father. So the question, so we're going to keep, getting updates, but then let's give you a bit of the America's Project 2025. You do remember that somebody made reference to that in the comments. And so even though there have been stories that Donald Trump has claimed not to know about the Project 2025, but then this next report, before we move on to something else, is going to show you that perhaps he does know something about it, and just maybe he doesn't want. And the 2025 project is a collection of conservative and right-wing policy proposal, which is by the Heritage Foundation to reshape the United States federal policies and the likes. And so let's hear this in this video, what they think about 2025 project and Donald Trump's involvement.
Trump is scared, and here's how we know. He lied about knowing nothing about Project 2025 because he's worried it could damage his popularity. But 26 of Project 2025's 36 authors listed in the document worked in Trump's previous administration. Trump's former senior advisor, Stephen Miller, appeared in a Project 2025 recruitment video, along with his current campaign press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. Pro-Trump PACs are running pro-Project 2025 ads online. In a January 2018 blog post, the Heritage Foundation, the think tank behind the right-wing manifesto, bragged that after only 1 year in office, Trump embraced nearly 2/3 of their policy recommendations. And he's spoken at the Heritage Foundation before. How are we supposed to believe he has no idea who they are and what they've been working on? But here's the thing, lying worked for him in the past. He's likely trying to distance himself from the unpopular plan after the president of the Heritage Foundation said the quiet part out loud.
We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Okay, so how they're supposed to believe that he doesn't know about Project 2025. Anyway, so many drama on the international scene. I mean, let this election just come and let it just...
We'll still have a couple of months to go. November 5.
Yeah, the second debate.
There's still a lot that could happen. There's still a lot of other episodes of drama that could play out. This one was certainly interesting, made all the headlines in America and beyond. Lots of questions that we're hoping would be answered in the coming days.
If you ask me, I do think that President Joe Biden should use this to score a point.
How so?
Yes, his gun policy point. I mean, this is the right time for him to push his gun policy point, his gun regulation point. Lots and lots of, I mean, if you speak to Americans or you speak to those in America, one of the problems they have is this gun policy. It is this fear of you could just be somewhere and you don't know gun violence. And so I think this is a time for President Joe Biden to score a point and say, okay, fine. I mean, if we had proper gun regulation, if we had proper policies in place, I'm not sure that a young boy of 20 would be able to just go take his father's gun, or someone could just walk into a place and purchase a gun and keep in their houses. And so I think this, but you see, Trump, Joe Biden is so, I think he's even so let's use the word empathetic, you know, towards what has happened to Trump. And trust me,
that is that is
is
what you would expect, you know, that leaders, even if you're an opponent, to condemn the shooting. It doesn't mean
have
you're
you
now.
seen the conversation?
It doesn't mean that you are now lending your support to the Republicans.
No,
I mean,
no.
But then again, you could see that Trump's fist bumping, even after he was shot, it just shows you how much of a fighter, as it were, in quotes now, that he is.
I don't see that.
We've always known how outspoken he is, how braggadocious he is in his political speeches. He is one person who presents a persona of, I will not be subdued, I will not be intimidated, I will not cower for anybody. So no matter what you throw at him, you know, he's always going to try to throw it back at you and make you feel like, okay, whatever it is you're trying to intimidate him with, he is not deterred. Do you get? So what was
a lot of Americans don't see the way you're seeing it.
Again, what was this staged? Was this a failure on security? Was this an attack? What exactly happened? Like I said,
unfortunately, the shooter is no more to tell us what really happened.
So this is one of those moments where I'm hoping that, you know, all of those things we see in the movies would play out. Okay, even if the shooter is dead, I'm hoping that one detective somewhere would do some investigation. Do all of those things people would do in the movies now. Is it only in the movies that it works?
Anyway, let's come back home before it gets to time for sport. Let's come back home and see what we have on the big stories on our national day list this beautiful morning. And then if we still have some time, we could tell you what the EFCC boss is saying about corruption in the church. But that will be after we're done with the papers this morning. Let's check out what we have in the papers after this break.
Hello and welcome to your rapid weather forecast for Monday, 15th July 2024. And I am Francis Amarachi Charity. The rains are now spreading all over Nigeria, the northern parts inclusive, with the wet and stormy weather normal for this time of the year. We see that daytime temperatures are now lower and you can feel the cool nights. So wear a warm clothing and maybe carry an umbrella. In the northern part of Nigeria, the rain clouds and storms are gradually moving on from the south, so expect to see heavy rain and thunderstorms. The south of the country will be especially near the coast, will be wet with heavy rain and thunderstorms, and a few sunny spells later in the week. Cloudy weather developing in the southwest with thunderstorms near the coastal areas, but a few sunny periods are likely in the inland areas. Starting with the northwest, Sokoto, the seat of the caliphate, will be warm hot with sporadic sunshine, but with increasing clouds and rain moving in from the south later in the day. Temperature will rise to 33 degrees Celsius, but drop down to 24 degrees Celsius at night. Also, Kano, the center of commerce, will also be warm with sporadic sunshine, with clouds and likelihood of heavy thunderstorms later in the day. Temperature rising to 32 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 22 degrees Celsius. Kaduna, the center of learning, will be mixed with weather conditions with the sunny spells early in the day but rain and heavy clouds later. the temperatures rising to 29 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 21 degrees Celsius at night. Moving forward, while in the northeast, Maiduguri, the home of peace, will be experiencing heavy clouds with rainstorms and sporadic sunshine, temperature rising to 31 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 23 degrees Celsius at night. Moving to the north central, Abuja, the federal capital city and center of unity, likely see rains early in the day, but cloud conditions most of the day, and thunderstorms later at night. Temperature will rise to 26 degrees Celsius midday and dropping down to 20 degrees Celsius at night. Now to the southeast. Umaya, the God's own state, will have a cloudy start with rainstorms developing later in the day and patches of sunshine in the afternoon. Temperature will rise to 28 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 22 degrees Celsius at night. Also the south-south. Port Harcourt, the treasure base of the nation, will be experiencing cloudy conditions throughout the day. Thunderstorms later possibly extending into the evening. Temperature will rise to 25 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 21 degrees Celsius at night. And lastly, we have Lagos, the center of excellence, will be experiencing heavy rainstorms during the day, with these conditions continuing into the evening and into the night, causing a lot of floods. Temperature will be rising to 9 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 24 degrees Celsius. Around Nigeria, this weather will preserve throughout the day, with heavy rains moving in from the southern coastal areas. There is a danger of flooding in lower areas. Temperatures are dropping as the wet weather increases. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay alert, and carry an umbrella or a raincoat. Do not forget. And of course, this is weather forecast for Monday, 15th July for you. Thank you for watching, and I am Francis Amarachi Charity.
All right, welcome back. Let's now move on straight to our papers this beautiful morning. Starting off with Daily Times. Most states not viable. We don't need more. This is coming from Agbakuba. And most states not viable. We don't need more. You can see a picture there of Donald Trump, what we just discussed. IGP orders suspension of ECMR enforcement, seeks understanding support of Nigerian residents to key into ECMR system. We also have expedite action on minimum wage. NAT tells Tinubu Dangote refinery fertilizer COI to be listed in the first quarter 2025, and NDLA seizes US, UK, Europe bound cocaine opioids in Lagos. Let's now move on.
Daily Trust is up next. 6 years after Abuja Kaduna Road project completed, can we have the riders a bit bolder? Myriad of potholes causing vehicles crashes. Commuters demand urgent government attention to be completed in 12 months, Works Minister. And moving down, Samoa report, Ombudsman writes Daily Trust asks for response. NNPCL now owns only 7.2% of Dangote refinery coming from Aliko. Victims narrate ordeals after school and residential building collapse in Jos and Abuja. Okay.
Let's now move on to The Guardian. 21 states race to hold elections as 489 local government areas face zero FAC allocations. Dangote refinery resolves crude supply issues to roll out petrol in August. Okay, great. EFCC silent as Beta Edu allegedly stages comeback. I don't want to be the one that will say, I told you. Senate finalizes bill that codes control of land with gold reserves to federal government. Let's just move on to the next paper, please.
All right, Daily Independent, harsh environment slows telcos investment and impacts service quality. We'll have other headlines there. While Lagos may reinstate monthly environmental sanitation by Sanwo-Olu, NMCC receives complaint from FG against the, Wahab Rivers Assembly crisis. PDP denies filing appeal challenging High Court order. Nobody can stop Benue governor from doing 2 terms. Germade vows. Okay, some political tussle there. Ngodo charges PDP to place premium on internal democracy, and this court orders ministry to disclose details of pact between federal government and X. And look at that beautiful picture of my first country, celebrating their win. Congratulations once again to them. Oh, we do have an interesting one towards the down part of the paper. Tinubu condemns attack on former U.S. President Donald Trump. Okay.
I refuse to speak on this. Let's move on.
Okay, now.
Leadership newspaper. Federal government promotes 32,000 paramilitary personnel in 1 year. Stakeholders profile stiffer penalties for drug abuse trafficking. This writer there says 14.3 million Nigerians abuse drugs, 10.6 million hooked on cannabis, and Nigeria must wage a decisive war against drug abuse. And NNPC's stake in our refinery is 7.2%. This is coming from Dangote. On the Twitter ban, court orders federal government to disclose agreement with X. All right, you also have something on the Samoa agreement right there. These and many more you will find if you grab a copy of the papers this morning. Let's move on straight to sports.
All right, Punch Sports Extra now. Final outbreak. That's an interesting one. 3 Lions 58-year wait for first major men's trophy continues. We'll have Atlanta set, is that 60 million now? Lukman asking price. Sexy joins United. That will be their first signing of the summer. Ndidi, happy to be back in EPL. Southampton want Ramsdale. Okay. Desires rules out Rangers exit. Osimhen impresses Conte amid exit talks. Osimhen impresses Conte amid exit talks.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Is that all that is that your only paper?
I need you to hear that headline. Okay. Do we have a Sporting Sun available? Just before we get into the analysis this morning, I can see something on Aruna Akwadri as well. Okay, there you have it. Final heartbreak. Some people.
Which of the final heartbreak?
Some people joyous. Some people in mourning, as it were. Some people not really happy. I feel sad for one player.
For what?
I feel sad for one player. Harry Kane, despite his heroics.
Is this you're telling me? It's not for me. It's for 8 o'clock. We have other things to discuss right now.
I need to tell you.
No. I don't need to hear it. Like
you
we have
were
other
bragging.
Things, like the SP that happened over the weekend.
You were bragging.
Have things to talk about.
You were bragging.
So let's move on straight.
You are making mouths.
More important and nice things to talk about.
England was going to win.
Can we have a video of Serena Williams, please, on the screen?
I said no.
At the SP.
Do you know who we are?
Serena Williams was the host.
Have you heard about Spain?
I'm not hearing you. Oh.
Have you not heard about
I hope
Spain?
you know I'm not hearing you.
Are we here to play?
I'm not hearing you.
Okay.
So Serena Williams was the Serena Williams was
It's okay.
So Serena Williams was the host for the SP Awards that happened over the weekend, and it was an interesting one. I think my most favorite moment was when she threw a jab at not only Drake but also at this man that has been a thorn in the flesh. Let's start with this one where she threw a jab at Drake. Okay.
The craziest
in sports this year was Dodgers pitcher Shohei Ohtani. He got $16 million stolen from him by his translator and didn't even notice. $16 million, y'all. Male athletes get paid so much more than female athletes.
They don't even notice losing $16 million. Because believe me, I would have noticed.
How do I not fight for equity when I tell them they can climb as high as they want? They can be all that they want. How do I not fight pay disparity when I do the same job and get paid less, but win more?
Okay, this was what she was talking about, male and female athletes getting paid, not getting paid same amount. And they're talking about how one of the athletes got about $16 million out of his account, but he didn't even notice because, she talked about herself that if she had such an amount of money out of her, stolen from her, there is no way she's not going to notice. Now, that was not the only thing that happened at the event. She took a shot, not just only her, 3 of them, because she had her sister on stage with her as well. And so they took a shot at this guy, Watkins. And let's have that video right now.
So go ahead and enjoy women's sports like you would any other sports because they are sports.
Yes. Except you, Harrison Butker. We don't need you.
At all. Like ever.
Okay, so Harrison was the guy who insinuated that women are just supposed to be cooking, cleaning, and
being busy in the other room. But I wasn't the originator of that. I wasn't the person who started that whole conversation or who propagated that agenda. Okay, I'm only saying what somebody has said in the past.
Which is the somebody? Who is the somebody?
We all know. You don't need me to call any names.
Call the name.
Names must not be named in issues like this.
Anyway, so she actually took a shot at Drake, and some people were wondering, okay, some people who really didn't know were like, oh, why would Serena take a shot at Drake? Now let me give a small juicy story. Serena and Drake used to have a relationship, okay, and so it wasn't a very, very great breakup. And so when Serena was to get married to this her lovely husband right now, Drake dissed her, and her man in one of his tracks titled "Wait for Me." Okay, so he dissed her, but she didn't respond. She kept quiet, and I feel like she felt like now is the right time to respond to Drake. And she did that. Now some people say, oh, that was petty. I mean, come on, you're not a wife, you're not a mother, you don't have to, But I believe that if you come for me, or you come for my man, or you come for whatever it is that has to do with me, I'm gonna come for you. And I'm gonna come for you in the way that you will not expect it to be.
And she had to use Kendrick Lamar's song,
Exactly.
Not Like Us,
Exactly.
Jumping into that whole feud, that whole this battle between Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
And she did it at the beginning of the show so that you could see that, oh yes.
It was more of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, jumping on that track and letting Drake know that you're not all that. I could have felt I could imagine it was satisfying for her at the time. I think this is also the first time that she has had to host an event like that from start to finish. And some people were like, okay, great performance, thank you for using your platform to address a couple of issues. Other people felt like some other digs and jabs and shades she was throwing didn't really come off well.
He doesn't have to come up with it. That he went straight to the people he was supposed to go to. Let's clear the beef. Let's clear it. Let's clear it. And by the way, she didn't write her script, okay? Her own is to rehearse the script and then maybe add 1 or 2 things. That's it. So even her husband in an interview did say that he wasn't even there for the rehearsals. And so even when he told her that, oh, let me hear, do some practice at home and all, she told him, no, don't worry, I'm going to surprise you. So he was coming to the show, you know, to be wowed or to be surprised, basically. And so the SP basically is to honor, you know, to honor achievements of athletes and coaches across the sports world over the last year. And this year's the honorees included AJ Wilson as Best Athlete for Women's Sports. We had Dawn Staley, Jimmy V Award for Perseverance. We had Juju Watkins, Best Breakthrough Athlete. We had Caitlin Clark, Best College Athlete, Women's Sports. We also had Williams. Okay, yes, she was joined on stage by her sister. And Williams also took her own for the night. And it was a beautiful night. It was a beautiful evening. Before I run away from here, let me just say that
congratulations.
I love Serena Williams' new stylist. Whoever her stylist is now, bro or girl, don't go. Just stay. Her glow is different. Her outfit is great. Her looks are just hit back to back. Unlike before. Let's not even do before and after first. So let's now move on to, I mean, I'm going to leave you. See, anything you want to discuss, I will not be here for it. Okay?
Are you going to congratulate me?
No, I'm going to congratulate Carlos Alcaraz.
That's my fellow countryman.
What's my business with you?
That's my fellow countryman.
I'm going to congratulate
It was
Carlos
a day
Alcaraz.
for my country.
Which your country?
Española.
You
I told you, I flew in from Madrid this morning.
Congratulations to Carlos Alcaraz. It was. I mean, look at our Djokovic. Oh, he's getting old.
Well, it's my favorite tennis player. I was watching the match and I say, now Djokovic be this.
I mean, you can't always be on the top every time. You have to come down.
Djokovic even they beat like small Pekin like this. I don't understand.
I mean, that's sport.
No, but watching the match, what it felt like was Alcaraz, or rather, Djokovic was playing a younger version of himself. Yeah, because how do you tell me that Djokovic is able to win a set? How?
It happens. Or maybe Djokovic just allowed him to win.
Nah.
I mean, he has taken it for a long time.
Nobody can sell that agenda to me.
No, but then again, you see, that was what even happened, even to Serena then. You know, people were surprised that Serena was, you know, one small girl came and
this would have been a record-breaking Grand Slam. 25 Grand Slams for Novak Djokovic. I mean, any player would want to jump, any athlete would want to jump on that to make history. So there's literally nothing about
this is similar to what happened to Serena. So
the match
when people were expecting that, oh, she was going to crown it up,
yes,
it happened.
And I think that whole pressure of trying to break a record, it happened a lot with Serena, and up until the time she didn't even cursing out at umpires, and then she knew, oh, this is where I have to call it quits. Yeah. So, but then again,
but at least she won her last set before she left.
Djokovic is gonna keep. She never actually did break that record.
No, but she won her last game before she left.
Winning your last game is not tantamount to, you know, breaking a Grand Slam record. For Djokovic, he's going to continue playing. I'm expecting probably till the end of the season before he now begins to call it quits. I mean, we've had Roger Federer quits the game. Rafael Nadal has not made an official announcement. Andy Murray is also slowly, he's yet to make an announcement, but it might happen anytime soon. And then these are the people that you say, these are his age mates, these are his clique. These made up the big four back then. So an announcement could be imminent anytime soon. But I mean, it was a weekend of some incredible tennis, and generally great sporting action, football action. Yesterday was absolutely.
I did not ask you about yesterday.
Was absolutely beautiful.
I am going to allow Ugo
from
to
Nico,
do his
Nico,
sports.
my brother,
and we will wrap
from
up.
Oyasabal, my uncle's son.
Wow. Let's listen to this national anthem. Now, this South African national anthem that was done at the stadium, the match between the Bokos and what's this other guy's name? I mean, it was it was about the emotion for me and for many of us. And so we thought to share that emotion with you this morning. And I'll be out of here. And Ugo can now be talking to his in-laws and his uncles and his...
The winning team.
His distant cousins.
I think that's the word you're looking for, the winning team.
I have told you who I want to send my congratulations to.
Hala Espanol.
Who you want to send yours to, my love, is totally your business.
Have I said good morning to you in Spanish this morning?
Congrats to England.
Buen dia.
They fought a good fight.
Congrats to England.
Let's have the national. Let's have that South African anthem right now.
As he comes through a guard of honour for the final time as an England Test cricket. As he comes through a guard of honour for the final time as an England Test cricket.
All right, a very good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning on Rapid Sports. It's your daily dose of sportainment. Ugochukwu Madaber is my name. Quite a lot of interesting stories from over the weekend. From Spain winning the Euros 2024, and just a couple of hours before right now, where the Albe Celeste of Argentina, Lionel Messi, with yet again another trophy, and it is their 16th major Copa America trophy, rather, for the Argentine national team. Of course, they had to take 120 minutes of football before Lautaro Martinez did the damage against the Colombians. And Carlos Alcaraz with an incredible win against Novak Djokovic yesterday, right there in Wimbledon. And of course, we had Yasmin Paolini, heartbreak for the young lady. But of course, there's a big congratulations to Barbara Krejcikova, her second Grand Slam title now. Well, let's kickstart this morning with Carlos Alcaraz, who dominated quite impressively to retain his Wimbledon crown, overpowering seven-time champion Novak Djokovic in straight sets to retain his Wimbledon title in a brutal statement that the new era of men's tennis has indeed arrived. The Spanish third seed produced a stellar performance, combining awesome power with delicate touch to win 6-2, 6-2, 7-6. That means Djokovic, 6 men in the Open era have won the French Open and Wimbledon in the same year. Number 1 is Rod Laver, followed by Young Berg, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and of course now Carlos Alcaraz. And remember, it's just, yes indeed, the most beautiful trophy. Was really beautiful for the young man. And well, he did say that Djokovic is an unbelievable fighter. He knew he was going to have his chances. And Alcaraz needed 5 sets to defeat the Serb in the 2023 final. Now let's take a listen to the big man, Novak Djokovic. How did he take that really grueling and disappointing defeat? Now, this game is absolutely amazing. Guess what? The tickets to watch the men's final for 1 seat at the center court is $13,075 US. Now, if you do a quick calculation in that, you'd realize that this is actually a game for what you might call rich people or billionaires. Because how do you explain that? But now juxtapose that with what you get to pay if you want to watch the ladies' final. So this is for those who are asking, okay, why should the guys be paid more than the ladies for winning the tournament? Now, for the men, I just told you, you have to pay over $13,000 to watch the men's final. For the ladies' final, you pay something in the region of $4,355. Look at that disparity there. Now, Djokovic would turn attention to the Paris Olympics. He's still without a title this year. hopefully he will be able to win something before the season is over. And of course, we still have the US Open yet to come. Now, in the women's event, it was absolutely beautiful because Barbora Krejcikova held off a charge from Yasmin Poalini in a gripping final to claim her second Grand Slam singles title. She was a French Open winner in 2021 and it was a beautiful victory for her. 6-2, 6-2, 2-6, 6-4, 6-2, 2-6, 6-4, and it was her third championship point. So she did share a warm embrace with Paolini at the net before looking up and blowing a kiss towards the sky. With the victory, Krejcikova has emulated her late friend and coach Yana Novotná. The 1998 Wimbledon champion died sadly from ovarian cancer in 2017 at the age of 49. And for Paolini, you really have to feel for her because she also didn't make it to the final of the French Open, but unfortunately she lost to Iga Swiatek. This time around, she's not lost to Barbora Krejcikova, and she holds an incredible 12-1 overall win-loss record in Grand Slam finals, talking about Krejcikova, and she will receive £2.7 million in prize money for winning this year's singles title. And for Paolini, her career has basically been on an upward trajectory over the last 12 months. What you might call a late bloomer, won a prestigious WTA tour title in Dubai in February before going on to the final of the French Open. And of course, now she's also got into the final of the Wimbledon. Who knows what's next for the young star, Yarlin Paolini. Forza, Yasmin. Well, wishing you all the very best in your future endeavors. Well, still talking about the Olympics now. Well, two-time Olympic medalist Eniofiok Udo Obong and an athletics expert, Bambo Akani, have described the women's 4x100 meters relay team as the strongest medal hopeful for Nigeria in the 2024 Olympic Games, which will be held in Paris from July 26 to August 11. Team Nigeria are bound to make their 18th appearance at the Global Sports Showpiece in Paris, aiming to increase the 27 medals the country has won since they began to feature in Helsinki in 1952. And athletics has won 14 out of the 27 medals that Nigeria has won, with 8 of 14 athletics medals coming from the relays. Udo Obong, who anchored the country to gold in the men's 4x100 meters, 4x400 meters during Sydney 2000, and bronze in Athens 2004, tipped the women's 4x100 meters team to shine at the games this year. Now, we also understand that Aruna Quadri, based on his current world ranking, is expected to be drawn by in the first round of the women's singles of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games as the draws for the table tennis event approach. Aruna and Egypt's Omar Assar stand out as parts of the 16 top seeds who have qualified for this year's event. Now, the official seedings for the games will be based on the July 16 IWTF World Rankings. And according to the Africa Table Tennis Federation, the 2 African stars will be among the top seeds. So all hope on our athletes. Of course, you have some of the top headliners there. Aruna Quadri, top table tennis player. All eyes, of course, will be on him. And yet another top table tennis star in Africa, Omar Assar. Another Nigerian joining Aruna in the men's singles event is Olajide Omotayo. In the women's singles, Nigeria's duo of Ofyong Edem and Fatimo Bello, along with Cameroon's Sarah Havnu and Algeria's Linda Logarabi, complete the continent's contingent in Paris. So keep your fingers crossed and watch out for the draws later on tomorrow, July 16. Now, yesterday, it was Spain winning the Euros 2024. Substitute Mikel Oyarzabal scored a dramatic late winner as Spain triumphed in Sunday's Euro 2024 final, beating England 2-1 to confirm their re-emergence as a force on the international stage and end their opponents' dreams of winning. A really good outing for the England national team should have ended with them getting their hands on the night Congratulations to Spain, and congratulations to Spain midfielder Rodri, who was named the best Asia by becoming the youngest player ever to have played a draw encounter at the Hard Rock Stadium that saw Argentina captain Lionel Messi exit in tears during the second half after suffering an ankle injury. Now, Argentina have beaten Colombia thanks to Lautaro Martinez, look at the incredible job by this group of players and Lionel Scaloni, I beg your pardon. Copa America winners in 2021, won the Finalissima against Italy in 2022, won the World Cup in Qatar in 2022, and yet another Copa America trophy in 2024. And now they have booked a Finalissima date of the summer transfer window, bringing in Netherlands striker Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna in a deal reported to be in the region of £36.5 million on Sunday. We hear that Antonio Conte is impressed by the showing of Victor Osimhen in their preseason training. Mark Guehi is wanted by Liverpool. England midfielder Adam Wharton will turn down interest from Man City, Arsenal, and Bayern Munich and Real Madrid to stay at Crystal Palace. Arsenal have reached an agreement to sign England youth goalkeeper Temi Setford, and we also understand that Southampton want Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. There's plenty more to tell you, but unfortunately, that's the much that time can allow us, because he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Until tomorrow on Rapid Sports, Ugochukwu Madumere is my name. The Breakfast Show definitely continues right here on Rapid TV.
Welcome to your rapid weather forecast for Monday, 15th July 2024. And I am Francis Amarachi Charity. The rains are now spreading all over Nigeria, the northern parts inclusive, with the wet and stormy weather normal for this time of the year. We see that daytime temperatures are now lower and you can feel the cool nights. So wear a warm clothing and maybe carry an umbrella. In the northern part of Nigeria, the rain clouds and storms are gradually moving on from the south, so expect to see heavy rain and thunderstorms. The south of the country will be especially near the coast, will be wet with heavy rain and thunderstorms, and a few sunny spells later in the week. Cloudy weather developing in the southwest with thunderstorms near the coastal areas, but a few sunny periods are likely in the inland areas. Starting with the northwest, Sokoto, the seat of the caliphate, will be
a very good morning to you, and
but with increasing clouds and rain moving in from the south later in the day. Temperature will rise to 33 degrees Celsius, but drop down to 24 degrees Celsius at night. Also, Kano, the center of commerce, will also be warm with sporadic sunshine, with clouds and likelihood of heavy thunderstorms later in the day. Temperature rising to 32 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 22 degrees Celsius. Kaduna, the center of learning, will be mixed with weather conditions with the sunny spells early in the day but rain and heavy clouds later. The temperatures rising to 29 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 21 degrees Celsius at night. Moving forward, while in the northeast, Maiduguri, the home of peace, will be experiencing heavy clouds with rainstorms and sporadic sunshine. Temperature rising to 31 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 23 degrees Celsius at night. Moving to the north central, Abuja, the federal capital city and center of unity, likely see rains early in the day but cloud conditions most of the day and thunderstorms later at night. Temperature will rise to 26 degrees Celsius midday and dropping down to 20 degrees Celsius at night. Now to the south. Umaya, the God's own state, will have a cloudy start with rainstorms developing later in the day and patches of sunshine in the afternoon. Temperature will rise to 28 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 22 degrees Celsius at night. Also the south. Port Harcourt, the treasure base of the nation, will be experiencing cloudy conditions throughout the day. Thunderstorms later possibly extending into the evening. Temperature will rise to 25 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 21 degrees Celsius at night. And lastly, we have Lagos, the center of excellence, will be experiencing heavy rainstorms during the day, with these conditions continuing into the evening and into the night, causing a lot of floods. Temperature will be rising to 9 degrees Celsius and dropping down to 24 degrees Celsius. Around Nigeria, this weather will preserve throughout the day, with heavy rains moving in from the southern coastal areas. There is a danger of flooding in lower areas. Temperatures are dropping as the wet weather increases. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay alert, and carry an umbrella or a raincoat. Do not forget. And of course, this is weather forecast for Monday, 15th July for you. Thank you for watching, and I am Francis Amarachi Charity.
All right, welcome back. It's still Rapid on this beautiful morning. And we did tell you earlier on the show that we'll be having a conversation regarding building collapse in Nigeria, not only in the FCT, not only in Jos, but generally in Nigeria. And we would tell you that we have an architect in the studio with us this beautiful morning to have this conversation with us. Just a brief background to this. Now, according to BCPG, that is a professional organization in Nigeria that aims to prevent building collapse, they say that Nigeria has experienced about 135 building collapse incidents, and so a large number of deaths alongside between 2022 and 2024, with the most recent one which happened on Saturday in Kubwa, a suburb in the Federal Capital Territory. And this is something that could have been preventable, but of course, we keep seeing this happen over and over again. So in the studio with us, we have architect Joshua Itubi, and we'll be talking about building collapse, prevention, management, how this happens, and why it's even happening in the first place. Welcome to the show.
Wow, thank you so much for this opportunity. I have a lot to actually speak about building collapsing in Nigeria of recent, and I'm happy to be at Rapid TV. And I think one of the basic causes of building collapsing in Nigeria recently is because we have architects that want to do everything themselves. And in the architectural industry, in the building industry, it is always a teamwork and not just a one-man show. Now, if you're given an admission in the university, in the polytechnic, you go to the faculty. In the faculty, you have an architect, you have a quantity surveyor, you're going to have a structural engineer, you have estate valuers, and all of these are made up to sum up or to become a teamwork in building. But now in Nigeria, an architect wants to build a structural engineer, an architect wants to be the quantity surveyor, an architect wants to have he wants to own everything in the structural industry or in a particular project because he's after the money. And as such, he will end up not doing the calculations he's supposed to do for the structural, the person that designed, which of course is not supposed to be like that. The architect is supposed to come up with a building plan, then he will submit that building plan to a structural engineer. Now, the structural engineer will pick it up from there. He's going to do the structural calculations of the beams, the columns, the steel, the rod that are supposed to be used basically for that building. But in Nigeria now, it's obvious we have the architect to be the structural engineer, the architect to be the electrical engineer, the architect to be the mechanical engineer.
Is that even
and
possible?
He wants to do everything. Yes, because we the architect, we see ourselves as master of all, and we feel like we come up with the design.
You design the structures.
Yes, we design the structures, so we feel we are master of everything.
Okay, you did mention that you have a lot to say, and I can see your...
They are the architect of the problem.
Okay, let's imagine for a moment that the architects are given only the job that they are meant to do, which is designing.
Yes.
Let's imagine that is what has been going on. Yes. Are there perhaps other factors that you think could contribute to the frequent cases that we have been recording in recent times of building collapse? Are there perhaps other factors that are contributing to this frequent building collapse?
Okay, thank you, sir. I think basically you have 4 factors.
Okay.
That usually collapse or cause this catastrophe. Now we have number 1 is overloading.
Okay.
That's where
what do you mean by overloading?
Yeah, that's what I want to explain now. Overloading in building terms have to be with it has to do with the structural part of the building. Now, when a building is supposed to have, let's say we're supposed to use a steel, let's say Y12. We have Y8, we have Y12, we have Y16 steel rod. Now, when a building that is supposed to, we're supposed to use Y8 to do a building. Now, the structural engineer may make a mistake and want to use Y12 or Y16. And whereas maybe the load bearing, we have 3 components in building. We have the substructure, we have the superstructure, and then we have the roof. Now, when the substructure that is carrying the roof, when it's overloaded, now there's going to be a problem. That's one. Then secondly, we also have material deterioration. Material deterioration such that when a steel gets rust in the building, now the steel, before you know it will be bigger than, like with time it will get robust, then it will cause crack. There are some crack in a building, like particularly if you're used to old buildings, you see a crack coming from the walls of a building. That's because maybe the material that is mixed with the concrete is beginning to get rust.
Okay.
So it's beginning to widen up. So when it's collapsing over the years, now that's because the design she brought up was able to go in line with the structural engineer's design. Because after designing, you have to give the structural engineer, he is the one to know, okay, there's supposed to be a column here, there's supposed to be a beam here. Let's not even go too far. Talk about Dunamis Church in Abuja here, a very big building containing 100,000 people. And it doesn't have pillars in the middle. Let's talk about Canaan land. I think Canaan land is even in the Guinness Book of Record. It doesn't have pillars in the middle. Those pillars were buried in the walls of each of those buildings. And as such, that's because there is an agreement between the architect and the structural engineer. So when the design of a building doesn't go in line with the structural engineer, definitely there's going to be a catastrophe like that. And then natural disaster. Natural disaster also causes buildings to collapse. Let's talk about erosion, rainfall, floods, and so many others.
Let's now look at what happened in Jos, for example. Really sad.
Yes.
It was said that the building originally was a bungalow that was converted to a 2-story. Now, from your line of work, is it possible that if a bungalow is done properly, converted into two-step properly, it can actually stand the test of time? Is it a problem of foundation? What could have gone wrong in the issue of the building in Jos, the school building in Jos?
Well, before I speak, I would like to say, may the souls of those that lost their loved ones rest in peace. And what I want to say is, when we talk about converting a bungalow to a duplex, is actually totally different and is not professional for me. It's not professional because you can't actually convert. The foundation of a bungalow is different from that of a duplex. So if you're converting a bungalow to a duplex, there's going to be a problem because the architect that built that building, he was building it because he knew that this building is just a bungalow, so we don't expect it to have a deep foundation trench.
Okay.
Yes. And you coming to convert it to, if you're coming to convert it to a duplex, that means everything is going wrong because the load that is going to come from the top of the building, the slab, the walls that you are raising, the roof, talk about the steps, the timber. So all of
that
those
is
things,
wrong, no matter how strong the foundation
no matter
is.
how strong a foundation is wrong. There's a foundation for bungalow different. There's a foundation for a duplex different. Yes, because let's talk about, okay, for a bungalow, you can just have just 1 meter of trench. But when you talk about for a duplex, you're gonna have like 2 or 1.5 meters down first. Then we will talk about the hard cores because there are big stones you're going to put on ground because it will help to hold the load from the roof. So that's the mistake so many people are making in the building industry.
let's talk about substandard materials.
Okay.
Yes, because I mean it's all part of it. If you want to look at some of the issues you talk about, you've mentioned architect wanting to do all.
Yes.
You've talked about excess loading.
Yes.
You've talked about but you haven't talked about workmanship.
Okay.
And I mean, are you trying to say that the people who did the work, the workmen, that you know they are exempted? Are you trying to talk about the materials? Are you saying that materials have no place, no role to play in this?
Wow, material have a bigger role to play because if you listen to me carefully, you hear me saying
talking about substandard materials.
Yes, yes. When maybe an architect is supposed to bring steel that is let's say Y8 and he's coming to bring Y12. He's supposed to bring Y16, then he's coming to bring Y12 to the side because he wants part of the money to himself. Maybe they negotiated with the client for a certain amount of money and he's not, like the money is not okay for him. He will not tell the client that, look, this money you're giving me is not really okay for me. Because he really wants to do the job, he wants to stay in the line. So he will just have to accept. Then as the building goes on, he will start bringing substandard materials. When he's supposed to bring standard materials, he will bring substandard materials to the side and everything end up
being a mess.
When you were mentioning part of the reasons why they will have frequent building collapse, one of the things you mentioned was natural disasters. And in fact, Jaws in particular has been pounded by heavy rains for quite some time. There are some times when it rains in Jaws and it's raining like ice.
Like ice, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have, repeated thunderstorms. You would expect that people who are built, whether it's the architects, whether it's the structural engineers, or even the property owners themselves, would take that into account. Is such a factor not considered when buildings are being erected in such a way that no matter how heavy the rainfall is or how intense the thunderstorm is, the building is strong enough to withstand, adverse weather conditions?
Yes, yes. It's supposed to be like that, like whatever the architect is going to do, he has to put the natural disaster into consideration. I think another aspect of natural disaster that is affecting us in Nigeria presently is the local miners. Okay, So the local miners will mine and not fill up the holes they dig beneath the ground surface. And as such, with time, if those things are not taken into consideration, it affects the environment. And I think there are local miners in Jos presently, like they are mining stones, limestones, columbite, and so on and so forth. So such miners, with time, will be hearing stories of erosion in Nigeria because there are local miners and the government are not taking consideration, or they are not looking into that aspect because some people are benefiting from it. Let's just be frank. So, and normally, if you're mining something, if you're digging a hole beneath the ground, after you must have gotten what you want, you're supposed to lock up that space because that's like a void. And if you're coming to build, it will affect the foundation of the building. And I think.
So let's now look at solutions, right? You've mentioned the government, and of course the Council of Registered Builders in Nigeria has actually called for, you know, stricter sanctions on developers that are responsible for things like this. And what else do you? What are these measures you think that can be employed to make sure that the people who are in charge of this building project, you know, from the architect to everyone involved, is concerned about human lives, because it's becoming a problem, or rather it's already a problem right now. So what do you think can be done from part of the government and then for the part of the associations in charge of this?
Okay, I think in architecture we have association, we have ACON, we have the FC, like in Abuja here we have the FCDA that are in charge of the architectural designs. Now before you design a building or before you go into building a house, you have to submit your designs to FCDA. You have to submit to ACON. They have to be sure that you are a licensed architect. Now, the solution there is some of these people, they also collect bribe. They also get paid from some architect, because there are some structures that maybe they will just give in. Maybe they just want to just make that place a commercial area, but because they are paid, they will just convert it to a residential area for people to just come and start living. Whereas maybe what the government have done there is they put the commercial building there in order to help people, but with time they end up like converting it to a residential building, and the whole thing is being messed up.
Yeah. Okay. So one more thing before we let you go, especially as it has to do with prevention. Now, one of the reports that I think it's similar for witnesses of both the Jos incident and the one in Abuja is that people who either lived in the building or are close to the building would always complain of cracks. They noticed cracks either a week before or 2 weeks before or a day before, and then only for the building to now collapse later. So someone might want to get clarification on this. The very fact that there's a crack in a building, does it mean that building is about to collapse? What should be done when cracks are noticed in building structures?
Thank you so much, sir. When cracks are noticed in a building structure, the first thing to be done is to call an architect.
Okay.
Now, when you call an architect have a professionalism or an expert way of dealing with such incident. Or maybe let me just talk about how to deal with a crack in a building. Now, when there's a crack in a building, the first thing you should do as an architect is to look for Y12 or Y16 steel rod. Then you call your mason that's the builder, they'll break the walls of that crack, like that place that there's a crack from the top to the bottom. So they'll break it like down to the top. After breaking it, they'll use steel. That steel, they'll put it in between the crack. Like they'll cross it. If the crack is coming from up, you put it vertically, like vertically. Then that's how you do it. Then the mason will have to fill up that space with stones.
Okay.
Because the crack may come from the foundation of the building. Maybe when they were digging the trench of the foundation, there's a hole that was existing.
So could what I'm asking is, could there be a situation where we notice a crack?
Yes.
Like you said, an architect is called in to evaluate.
Yes.
And then it is discovered that this building and the occupants are in danger, and therefore
So
everyone should evacuate.
Yes. Okay. Very important. Everyone should evacuate. Like they have to evacuate for a renovation.
Okay.
Now, and one thing is, most landlords, sorry to say, most landlords don't like renovating. And because the truth of it is, renovation is actually expensive than building.
Isn't that why they increase the house rent?
But they are not doing anything about it.
I mean, these are the issues, you know. So most times you see a landlord say, "Oh, okay, it's due for increase. Your rent is due for increase," and then you're expecting something great to come out of it, but then it's still the same house. It's still the same color.
Space,
it's still the same everything.
the same materials,
but
the same.
Your house rent has increased.
So the landlords too need to come into.
So they do have a part of the blame.
Yes, they do have a part of the blame, because you as a landlord, you are actually supposed to evaluate your house. You're supposed to check the roof. Okay, is there a crack on the roof of the house? Because with time, you know, some of this roof, we use wood to actually do, and wood sometimes will start bending. You get, and once it's bending, it starts sinking.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say that Architect Joshua, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Even though it was we didn't have enough time to, and I know you have a lot of things that you want to say, but due to time, we have to end the conversation at this time. Thank you so much for taking out time from your very busy schedule to be here this morning to talk about the issue of building collapse. We do hope that the relevant authority will get to pay attention to what is happening. Having this many number of collapse is not a very good thing. And then now, I mean, our schools, it just means that, I mean, if you're a school owner, you just have to check your building, assess it, and be sure that it is in the right state. If there's a crack, whatever it is, make sure that there's something that can be done about it. And with that, we will say that I think we've had a great conversation this beautiful morning. And the show, by extension, has come to an end this beautiful morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua.
Thank you so much.
I wish we had more time, but we would have taken this thing by the EFCC boss, but we could leave that for tomorrow. We'll add it up to our lineup and we'll let you know what the EFCC boss is about corruption in the church. Don't forget that you can follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, on Instagram. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can visit our website on
www.rbnradiotv.com.